Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. So it's been a little bit of time since I last filmed a video just because I'm not sure if anyone else has felt this way, but like, have you guys been in a little bit of like a rut since quarantine is a thing that happened? Well, like, me too. So essentially, I actually had a video that was filmed. It was like a week in my life, like the first week of online classes, but I was just like not in a good headspace in that video, so I am not uploading it. But if you guys do want to see a day in the life or a week in the life of online classes, let me know, because we're doing this for a whole nother term after this, because spring term and summer term are both online and I gotta take classes for both. So I'm gonna be in this for a little bit, but it's fine. It took some adjusting to, and now I'm here. But essentially, as you can see from the title, I am going to do a video about what it's like being a design major, in specific a graphic design major. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of background. I go to Drexel University, if you haven't already figured that out. I can link down below Drexel's graphic design program's website because I don't really want to like state all the specifics. Like, I really could, but it's kind of pointless to do that. So freshman year, you have, just like a lot of other universities, you do a lot of your gen eds. Drexel's kind of the same way, but you do have to go through foundations classes, so it's design 1 through 3. I'm actually a design tutor, so I know a lot about those classes. Like, you're going through the principles of design through all 3 classes, but you're doing it in different ways. So the first one is in black and white and it's 2D, the second one is color and it's 2D, and the third one is 3D. So you're going through all the design principles, you're kind of getting like a foundations for all of your design experience, building off of that. So then also within your freshman year, you're going to be taking a lot of your gen ed. So you take your English classes, you take a math. I placed out of math, so I never had to take that. I also took a lot of additional classes that you don't need to take at the same time, so I wanted to get a lot of my gen eds out of the way. But you also have to take a physics class. I'm trying to remember. Art history, it's terrible and you will absolutely hate it because nobody really ever likes art history, and art history at Drexel is kind of not fun. It's the best way to say it. I finished all but one of my art history classes and I have to take it next term, so if you don't see a lot of me posting, that is why, because I am going through because of art history. And you start going onto the computer your freshman year. During spring term, you take Computer Imaging 1, which is basically getting to know Illustrator, which is a very prominent, that's the best way to say it, it's very prominent, you need to know it to be a graphic designer software. So that's when you get introduced into that. You do a bunch of projects. That's also one of the first times that you're on the graphic design floor actually using the stuff that is there, which is pretty cool because you kind of feel like you fit into your major, if that makes sense. So another thing that is probably good to know, there are departments at Drexel that, well, in the urban Westfall building, that do have individual studios for all their students. Graphic design is not one of them. We do have one open lab, so there's 4 classrooms and 1 open lab. The open lab is accessible to any graphic design major. There's a printer in there, which I will talk about for 2 in a second, but there's a printer in there, there's a bunch of monitors that you can plug into, there's a photo area, I'm trying to think, scanners, cutting mats. There's a few tools in there too, and it's kind of like a collective space that like graphic design majors work in. It's available for freshmen up until seniors. I'm not sure if freshmen are able to get in there your first 2 terms, but I know that you can get into that lab your spring term. But everyone kind of like works in there, so you get to know other years and talk to everyone and like work on your projects and like see what everybody else is doing. It's a very collaborative major, so that part is pretty cool. But the thing is like, since you don't have your own studio space, you do get a flat file. Everyone gets one. It has your name on it. They're actually pretty decently sized. You can store your projects. I stored like my paper in there. Some people stored their keyboards, mouses, utensils like X-Acto knives. I had scissors. That was like the big cheat sheet to sophomore year, is like having scissors in my flat file, because sometimes you'd want to cut something but you don't want to get out your ruler and your X-Acto and you just need scissors because it's like a quick cut. So like, hack. Okay, so printing. You're gonna have to pay for printing. That's kind of like how the major works. That's how the industry works. That's how everything in graphic design works. The first term of freshman year, I kind of like printed a lot of stuff, so then I was like, okay, for Christmas I got a gift card to Target, so I got a printer. And I barely use that for my major. I use it for like other things, like I had to print physics recitation sheets and like essays I would print out of there. I wouldn't print like stuff for my actual major because you need specific sizes on specific papers, and it adds up. You upload your work into the site and then it prints it to one of the printers. But the thing is sometimes the site doesn't work and then you can't print things, and you also need things in color or black and white. Color is obviously more expensive. I don't know why we have to pay for black and white printing. That's actually insane. But I think the university charges 10 cents per sheet, but Westfall only charges 5 cents. So I guess you have some grace there, but you also gotta print a lot. Like I would spend probably like a few dollars in one day. That's a little crazy, but printing is insane. So like get a printer if you think that you're actually gonna need one, but like, You also, for honor students, this is what I have learned, you cannot use your honors printing credits towards PaperCut, which is the software that we use. So take that information with what you will. I'm not an honor student and I didn't feel like doing extra work for almost nothing. So yeah, but like, also, the only good thing about honor students is you guys do get priority registration, but if you stay on top of your classes and you take enough, you can get ahead of it. Like, I'm still a sophomore, but I'm a junior status right now, so I was a pre-junior last term or something, but I'm only a 4-year, so I don't actually ever have to be a pre-junior, but it's weird. I'm registering as a junior the summer before my junior year. It doesn't make any sense, but like if you stay on top of things, you can get early registration times, which would recommend. Although don't take 20 credits like me because you won't want to drop 10 with online classes. Love that. If you guys want to know some more information about how like online classes work in general, like, or like online classes as a design major, how those work, because those are they're different than like all of my other classes. Graphic design majors in general are very on top of everything that they ever do. So they're gonna be the people who are the first people to do an assignment. It will be assigned that day and they get it done that night. Or like, they're just overly prepared for everything. And the thing is like, I was that person in high school, so I was like, okay, college will be like, I'll just like do the same thing, right? So like, there are times when I get my work done later, there are times when I get it done earlier. That's just how life happens. So essentially I was like, okay, I'll be fine, right? Until I get into my major and there's people who have done like 5 times the amount of work that we're supposed to do just because they wanted to experiment with their ideas, and I'm like, I didn't even have ideas. What? Or like, they'll come to a critique with everything ready. Oh, here's another thing. You're gonna take design classes with other majors, not just graphic design. Your first term, you are put in with all graphic design majors for all your classes. But after that, it's kind of like mixed. So graphic design majors, I can tell you this, especially for design as a design tutor, I can inform you of this. The graphic design majors are the ones who are on top of it the most. They will come to classes and critiques with their project done, but other majors are still working on it and it's due that day. Like, it's due at the start of class, but other majors haven't even finished yet. So that I don't understand. To me, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if there's a due date, it's not a soft due date, it's like a very hard due date. Like, you gotta have a critique on, like, you gotta pin it up on the wall and get feedback on it. Like, what? That just doesn't make any sense to me, but like their grades get low. I don't know, but like, anyways, expect friendly competition because graphic design majors are very competitive and graphic design and art fields in general are very competitive, so yeah. The next one, the professors. They're amazing. Like, amazing. The thing is like, when I was going into the program, I was like, oh, like, it's at a big school, so like maybe I won't know my professors or anything. No, like, your professors are gonna remember you, and there's only 60 people per year. The seniors, I think, have 30, so it keeps on growing every single year, but my class is up to 60 people, so there's a lot of people, but it's not like crazy amount. Like, nursing is like insane amount, probably like 500, maybe more, but like, for my major, it's very small and the professors want to get to know all their students. Like, just things like that shows that the professors really care about their students. So the professors are pretty cool and they're there to help you, so use them while you have them, because guess what? Here's another fun thing about them. Also, listen to them, because when you are a senior and you're looking for a job, your professors are the ones who are going to recommend you to people that they know to hire you. So like, get a good relationship with your professors while you come in versus don't like yell at them or something or disagree with them, because that'll come to bite. Another thing, make sure to make friends with people who are outside of your major. Or just even outside of Westfall in general, like outside of creative minds, because you're gonna need to show your designs that you're working on to somebody else who is not a graphic design major, who hasn't seen your project for the past 5 weeks and knows where it started to where it is now, because yes, they can give you good feedback, and yes, that feedback is important, but like just getting somebody else who has nothing to do with anything look at your project and be like, do you, like, what do you see? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to get across? Because they are just a general public eye, and like they're gonna be your test group for how like somebody else is gonna view your work, and you need that second opinion. So that's why I lived with all business majors this past year, so like it's great. Also, I joined a sorority and there's so many different people in there, and a lot of my closest friends are nowhere near my major, so it's just kind of like have a giant repertoire of friends, some in your major, some not, some elsewhere, so that way you can really utilize all your resources and make the best design that you can make. The next thing, your portfolio is worth more than your GPA to a specific degree. So if you're applying to like a design firm, your portfolio is going to mean so much more than a little number, right? But also keep in mind that your GPA normally reflects how your portfolio looks if you have a lot of design classes. So if you have a lot of design classes and you're making stellar work in them, your grade is going to be higher in those classes because you're doing good work. But that also doesn't mean you should slack off in all your other classes and bring down your GPA. You should like make it fairly high. Like, also Drexel does this really annoying thing where there's like A's, A+, A-, B+, and they all have like different things. So I think I've only gotten like 2 B's through all of like college in general. The rest are all like A's of some form, but like I still don't have a 4.0 or anything close to, well, I mean, it's close to that, but like essentially your GPA doesn't matter, but it does matter. Focus on like creating good work in all your design classes. Don't focus on your grade as much as you want to focus on like what you're doing. Like, how are you listening to the instructions and like making your designs better? Because if you have better designs, you're gonna have a better grade. So don't focus on like, how do I get that A? Focus on how do I make this better, if that makes any sense. Everyone comes in with a different amount of experience, and take that lightheartedly. A lot of people, it's kind of like the major's divided. You either come in with computer experience or you come in with fine arts experience. I had a very weird mixture of like, I want to say 70% fine arts, 30% computer. So I did pretty decent in my design classes, like my design 1 through 3. And then when I got into the computer, I was like, there's command keys. Take that with a grain of salt. Like, everyone comes in with different experiences, everyone comes in with different knowledge, and you're there to learn. You're not there to come in with all this experience to teach other people. That's your professor's job. So your job is to sit there and absorb all of the information. But that being said, you don't need to come in with the entire Adobe suite on your computer unless you're gonna freelance or you use it a lot before you came in. Like, check the summer before you go into your freshman year, unless you're doing freelancing, because I feel like that's different. But like, if you're not using any of your Adobe suite, don't have it, because you're not going to need it until like spring term. Maybe save the money. Like, you're gonna realize that money goes by quickly once you get to college. You might have saved all this money working at a summer job before you came in, but like, listen, knowing from experience, money disappears very, very, very quickly when you have nothing coming in and it's all only going out. The next thing, you're gonna have really long studio classes. All of your classes for your majors are gonna be 3 hours long, which is insane to people who are not Westfall majors, because Westfall majors 3-hour classes are like our usual thing. Like, next term, if I don't have a 3-hour class, I'm gonna be shocked, honestly. But like, other people are like annoyed when they have a 2-hour class or an 1.5-hour long class. I'm like, that's not that bad. Like, you want to take my classes for me? They're kind of a little insane. So like, sometimes you will have classes for 9 hours straight in one day, and that's okay. Just bring some snacks, bring some water, and you'll get through it. Trust me, I did that last term. I was struggling, but I got through it. Like, I'm here now. So another thing, people who aren't Westfall majors will think that you're not doing anything. for your classes because they don't really see you because you're either in the studio or like they don't see you studying or they don't see you like writing essays like how their typical classes work, because that's how standard classes do work in college. Is you go in, you go to a lecture, and then you write like a final paper, and you might have a midterm and a final along the way, so you need to study for those. Like that's how typical classes work. But like our classes, it's basically you work on a project the entire term, or like only a portion of the term, depends on like what your class is and how it's structured, but you work on a project and then you turn that in. Like, and people are like, oh my god, like I wish I had a project. Yeah, you wish you had a project-based class until it's the day before it's due and your professor tells you to redo the entire thing, which it happens, and you gotta live with it and cry through it and drink a lot of coffee and you'll get through it in the end, because look at that, I'm still here. So then the last thing that I kind of want to tell you guys is don't buy a computer until your program director reaches out to you. If you are going to Drexel, then it'll be Bill Rees, or at least that's who the current program director is. We love Bill. Bill's honestly like the greatest. Don't buy a computer until your program director reaches out to you with all the specifications that you're gonna need, because like he was telling us fall term, I think it was, he was saying how he was going to change all the specifications for incoming freshmen for the following year of what computer that they need to get based off of how the current classes are dealing with specific assignments. So things do change. So wait until he reaches out to you guys, and don't overpay for a computer that you don't really need. But if you guys want some more tips, I can give some more tips. I think a very important tip is don't save everything onto your computer, because then it'll slow it down. Have an external hard drive. This is for anyone. This isn't even graphic design majors. Like any human, have an external hard drive, save everything onto there, because if you put it all on your computer, it's going to slow it down so much and you won't even realize until you take everything off and you're like, whoa, I didn't realize that a computer's supposed to go this fast. Like, oh yes, honey, it is. But so thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions about the graphic design program that I did not answer, or if you have any questions about Drexel, feel free to ask me on Instagram or comment down below. I would say ask me on Twitter, but I literally never use Twitter. Yeah, feel free to comment down below or hit me up on Instagram, and I would be happy to answer anything. Also, let me know down below if you guys want to see a like day in the life or week in the life of a college student unquarantined, like quarantine Zoom university classes, and I will do one for you guys. Yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will see you guys, I don't know when, but next time. Alright, bye.